IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach podcast. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach, and today with us in the hot seat we have Medha. She says, I have trust issues. I've always had problems with relationships. I mean, I'm good at making friends, but at the core, you see the deceiving nature of people. The more isolated I become, because the fact that people can be so mean shocks me. I want to know how to find people or a person who's honest as well as good. Is there not a single boy in this world with good intentions? So, Medha, you see what it is that you're doing immediately, right? Okay, fine. Great that you have the ability to make friends. But what is the second thing that you're doing? The second thing that you're doing is very quickly judging people. You know, whenever you start judging people, what is it that you're doing? You're basically putting your own understanding of the world onto that person. You know, there's a very nice phrase that says that every time you judge someone, you're basically holding a mirror to yourself. Because whatever perceptions you have of that person are technically nothing but your past and perceptions about yourself that are showing through. So very often you start seeing this in people. You know, you suddenly start wondering, why is this person there? Why am I seeing these repeated patterns in people? It's not because all people are the same. It's because you are the same. And as a result, you are seeing that same pattern in everyone. So whenever we get into that loop of, you know, this person's deceiving, this person is like this, you have to actually start and introspect, where is this idea coming from? Where is the proof that you have that this person's only thinking about you in this way and not that way? Where are your thoughts coming from? So, you know, Medha, it's very easy for us to point fingers at others. And after a while, it becomes a habit where we just keep pointing fingers and blaming others for the way things are and the way things appear things to be. But the truth is that the only thing that we can change is ourselves. You cannot go around changing the world. You cannot go around changing every single boy that you meet. And that is what you're basically saying. Where are all these people? I want that kind of person. Instead, you have to look inwards and say, what is the kind of person that I am? Why am I only attracting guys like this? Is there a way that I can be different in order to get somebody else? Because, like I said, the world around you is nothing but a mirror that you're holding up. So, in order to change what you see, you have to first change yourself. And I know this is not the answer that you wanted. And I know this is an answer that you can think of as, oh, so everything boils down to me and self blame. No, it's not about that. The truth is that the only thing that you can control are your perceptions of the world around you. And if you keep judging people very quickly, what does that mean? Who gave you the right to judge? Are you better than others? These are questions that you should ask yourself before you make these assumptions. So the truth is that don't think about it as there are no good people left, because that is the kind of thinking that makes the world such a dark, horrible, mean place to be in. You know, like Jim Carrey once said, you know, it's Christmas going on, and Jim Carrey was talking about the Grinch. And he says, let's make it perfectly clear. The Grinch doesn't not like Christmas. He doesn't like people. And that is fair. You know, it's something that we joke about, like, oh my God, I don't like people. I prefer pets over people, and I prefer dogs over people. But the truth is that it is your perception, that your judgment that you're putting on. Imagine if I told you, Medha, that in my reality, the world is a beautiful place. Every single person I meet, I trust. What is that? What is the difference? Am I in a different world from you? No, it is just that my perception of people is different from yours. And hence, the only way that you can change the outside world is to change your inside world. Okay? So make it a habit of starting to see the good in people. Look for it. Go under the surface. But before you do that, start looking for the good in yourself. What is it that you feel that you're missing? What are the aspects that you want to bring up? Because ultimately, those are the things that are going to come out in the people around you. And consciously start looking out for these kind of people, and you will start finding them. In fact, all these dishonest people, inverted commas, are going to disappear from your life because they really did not exist. You know, there was this very nice book that I'd read about, it was called How Never to Be Lied to Again. And one of the principles of that book was that if you never want to be lied to, don't give the person the situation to lie to you. So if you never want to be deceived, don't give the person the situation to deceive you. Be very clear, communicate, and show yourself in your true colors, and then you will see the person as they truly are. The last thing I want to say about this is that when we judge others, we are judging them through our reality. Very often, we don't know what their lives have been like. We don't know what their stories are, what they have gone through, what they are holding down, their suppressed ideas, their suppressed belief system, their suppressed self-esteem issues. So always give people the benefit of the doubt. Don't jump into judging, don't jump into saying these people are like this and painting everybody with a broad brushstroke. That is my take on your question. All right, guys, if you want me to answer your question, check out the link in the description below. Click on it and send me your question. Remember to make it a nice meaty question so that I have enough data to go on and help you out with it. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And remember, awesome lives, they start with awesome habits. Usually in a podcast, it's me who speaks to you and you who listens. But I've been seeing your comments and it's time. It's me listening to you. Following the overwhelming success of this podcast, the good folks at IVM Podcast Network have decided to come up with a Kannada adaptation of the show for those who prefer listening to it in that language. Do make sure you let your Kannada speaking friends know about this as well. So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome180.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says, it's all about food. Cyrus is in conversation with Vikas Khanna, chef, restaurateur, author and judge on MasterChef India. They discuss Vikas's new book, Barkat. On Misconduct, Raghavi and Nisha throw it back to all the female criminals from season 1 of the show. On The Habit Coach with Ashdin Doctor, philosopher and guru Gautam Jain shares some actionable habits to strengthen our minds. On The Longest Constitution, Priya explains how India's first guidelines of sexual harassment at the workplace came to be. And on Audio Gyan, editor Medha Jyotishi walks Kedar through the journey of publishing a poetry book. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. We'd also really appreciate any ratings or reviews you can give us on any of the platforms that we're listening on, whether it's Apple Podcast, Spotify, or IVM Podcast app. Wherever you're listening, do let us know that you are listening. I'd also like to remind you all that we have a number of YouTube channels where a number of shows are available. You can go to ivmpodcast.com/YouTube to check out what channels we have. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Cred, Bank of Baroda, CoinSwitch, Kuber, and Intel. Thank you so much for making this possible.
पेश खिदमत है आपकी शान में हमारे अंजुमन से. Hi, I am Sadaf.
And I'm Arshit. खाने का इतिहास, economics, policy, psychology, सब है मेन्यू पे.
Only on the Nankali podcast every Wednesday. सिर्फ IVM podcast app या वेबसाइट पर या फिर जहां से भी आप अपने पॉडकास्ट सुनते हो.